Wu-Tang Clan's final tour, the final chamber. Does that define Wu-Tang's legacy? How they went out on stage? We'll talk about that now on Heritage Hip Hop.
This is a Heritage Hip Hop exclusive. This is a Heritage Hip Hop exclusive.
I had the honor to go to the Wu-Tang Clan Final Chamber Tour in Newark, New Jersey on July 17th, 2025. Well, let me tell you something. Wu-Tang Clan going out one last time was a big deal for me. It is a big deal to me because Wu-Tang Clan is the best rap group of all time to me. At least they're my favorite. I like them and Public Enemy is my 1A, 1B. But Wu-Tang Clan to me is the greatest hip hop group of all time. And in a world where hip hop is turning 50 and a lot of our rappers and heroes are becoming elder statesmen in the culture, it was important for me to go see Wu-Tang. This was going to be the last time I got to see the RZA, the Jizza, the Spec, the Deck, Raekwon, the Chef, Capadonna, You God. I got to see YDB represent his dad, Old Dirty Bastard, Master Killer. Like, it was important to see every single person from Wu-Tang on the stage for me. This tour right here with Run the Jewels is a landmark for me when it comes to seeing Wu-Tang. But let me tell you why. For me personally, Wu-Tang came out when I was in elementary school, and now I'm a grown man, family and everything, right? And I remember the first time I heard Protect Your Neck, my first thing was, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Because you had 9 people rapping with no hook. and the video was fire. It was raw. We all hear about this, right? But, you know, high school, I had Triumph came out around when I was leaving. You had the solo albums and all that. Fine. We even heard the story about the mysterious flood, the 2 floods. I heard the story about Inspector Deck's album being based on Spider-Man. That's why they kept calling him Spider-Man. I'm like Spider-Man's 5th brother up in the clan, Ghostface Killer, or swinging through your town like the neighborhood Spider-Man, Inspector Deck, right? But it was the turmoils that came out from Wu-Tang that really defines Wu-Tang's legacy to me. Because when Ghostface said F Hot 97 and Angie Martinez and the radio banned their music, not only did Wu-Tang disappear, we saw their legacy disappear. We saw people forget what Wu-Tang was. And then people started saying other groups and collectives, Cash Money, Dipset, and things like that, were in the vein of Wu-Tang. It was when Wu-Tang, people said Wu-Tang fell off, it was then we saw the reemergence of Wu-Tang through Supreme Clientele. We got to see Wu go into other facets. If it was rhyming, Inspector Deck came out again with Czarface and his solo projects. If it was being slept on, Master Killer was releasing projects. The RZA finally went beyond Bobby Digital and put out his album. You know, these were long-awaited projects people wanted. The Jizza had some, you know, Raekwon, Ghost, and Meth were always holding the Wu-Tang banner up. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect to Capadonna or You God or whatever, but Wu-Tang was held alive by Supreme Clientele 2, Method Man's acting, and Raekwon's music and business ventures. Let's just keep it real. Because Raekwon kept the face of Wu-Tang going on in the industry. Like I said, Method Man popped every now and then in the rhyme. You had him and Redman, and you had the movies. But Raekwon was in Drake videos, and Drake was popping. So Drake is like, you know, and he had a song, Wu-Tang Forever. Raekwon's in the video. Then you had West Side Gun. I think he said his favorite rapper of all time was Raekwon. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But I've heard early West Side Gun stuff, and when he was rhyming, and it sounded like Cuban Links. You know what I'm saying? That Purple Tape is very influential. And not only that, Griselda always talks about Raekwon, you know? So you got to see Wu-Tang endure. So for all those years, for Wu-Tang to come out with a final tour, that's a big deal. because now you get to see everybody collectively for the last time. And I mean, this tour was amazing. From RZA doing a freestyle in the beginning, Raekwon and Ghost coming out, and then Master Killer and Jizza and everybody come out on stage, and everybody like, where's Meth? And then Meth comes from under the stage, and he's the star, and he's going off, and et cetera, right? But a tour or the show is not just the artists, it's the impact that they bring to the stage. For Lauryn Hill to come out in New Jersey on stage with her son Zion and to perform was incredible. For Lauryn Hill to do X Factor and lead it into Can It Be All So Simple with Raekwon and Ghost on stage was amazing. To then also having Mary J. Blige on stage with Method Man to do All I Need. Amazing. See, we see Red and Meth together. Unfortunately, Red wasn't at this show, right? And Raekwon shouted out Tretch, and that was dope because Jersey gets love, right? New Jersey gets love, right? I mean, Wu-Tang even had New Jersey. They had Jersey hats on and Jersey Devil jerseys, so they know where they were at. And we've always had that quote where Raekwon said Wu-Tang was watching Jersey to see how Jersey was getting down. Jersey doesn't get enough respect. Shout out to my home state. But this tour, though it was a throwback for all of the fans there who grew up with Wu-Tang, for the people who were born in the 2000s that went there, not only did they get lyrics, not only did they get a show, not only did they get entertained, they saw what MCs are collectively. And that's what's been missing in hip hop. And that's why this final tour was so important. Because not only did we see the crowd get into it, not only did we see people rock with the lyrics, people saw men form as a unit and perform legacy music that will go nowhere. Tell me, when you hear All I Need, Mary J. Blige and Method Man, where does that take you? That's on some girl stuff, right? I mean, love is important. When you hear Ice Cream and you got Capadonna out there, and, taking it back to remember when the video came out, if you were around then, and Capadonna came, he was like, who the fuck is Capadonna? Oh, sorry, Cappuccino at the time. I mean, you had the women aspect covered, right? As a point of nostalgia, but Young Dirty Bastard honoring his father and doing Old Dirty Bastard's parts. He brought the energy and it brought back the memories of a man whose personality was bigger than life. And it brought something amazing to the stage. See, the thing about Wu-Tang is y'all can remember what it means to love something and have it take you back. You remember when you got sex for the first time. You remember that song. If you lived during 9/11 and you know about the buildings coming down, you remember what was going on at the time because it was traumatic. Trauma and joy brings about the best memories. And I'm going to tell you, Wu-Tang has brought about some of the best movement, memories, merch, games. I mean, things in people's lives that will make them endure. So this being the final chamber kind of bothers me because Wu-Tang is forever. That's what they said, right? Wu-Tang is forever. Mother uffers, you know what I mean? And if Wu-Tang is forever, then this final chamber tour could be a bittersweet goodbye to seeing everybody together, but it could also be a beautiful hello to if they ever return. And that's why everything Wu-Tang does has to be appreciated in a different way. Wu-Tang Clan might be the Temptations of hip hop because for a member to die and then to bring another person in to fulfill, a son at that, to fulfill another part of the group that's passed, that's big. To endure means to have a legacy. Do y'all know second generation Wu? Shout out to my dude Intel. Shout out to Method Man's children, Shay, Power. I don't remember his other son's name, pardon me, sir. But you got Old Dirty Bastard's children. Ghostface has children. Jizza has children that rap. I don't know about anybody else. But look at that. How people talk about Killer Army and all this stuff. But look at their generations, how their generations can still inspire, and that be the new chamber of the Wu-Tang legacy. I think even Reza has like a daughter or a cousin or something that does country music. Like, I mean, the legacy of Wu-Tang is so outreaching that I think they are the most influential group in hip hop history, in my opinion. You can tell me if you think I'm wrong. During this concert, we saw documentaries for the Purple Tape, one of the greatest hip hop albums of all time. We saw video games, which is enduring legacy. So they had one for PS1, PlayStation 1, if y'all don't know what that is, and they got PlayStation 5, Xbox with the Rise of the Deceiver, right? That's a new game. Ghostface, the Ghostface for making that happen. But then you have the Wu-Tang comic books, you have their families, you have all these things, right? And it makes me think, what does Wu-Tang mean to the collective of hip hop when you look at it, if this is the final chamber? First of all, this symbol right here will go on in history to live forever. Shout out to, I think, a lot of mathematics for making that. That W means something. When you do this, that Wu-Tang W is synonymous to hip hop and more. Who else before Wu-Tang brought Asian culture prominently to hip hop? Whether you remember sitting down Saturday mornings, Channel 5, watching Shaw Brothers martial arts flicks, that was big back in the day. Like, you had your Saturday morning cartoons, eat cereal, Batman, all that on, maybe watching He-Man or something, Transformers or whatever. But then you had the Shaolin versus the Llama, Five Deadly Venoms classic. You have Shaolin versus the Ninja. You had Drunken Master. You had all these Eagle Joint. You had all these movies come on, and then hip hop was used to bring that culture prominently into the culture, back into our culture through nostalgia and also new sound. The RZA is a genius. I don't know where he at with his music now. I'm not sure. But I know at the time, this man, without the RZA, there's no Kanye. Without the RZA, there's no Just Blaze. Without the RZA, there's probably no Diplomat Sound, Heat Makers, all of them. What he did with vocals and samples was amazing, right? If you look at each member and what they have bought, Wu-Tang Clan probably collectively could be one of the big, I think it's the biggest movement in hip hop. But let's think about this. When you think about the greatest group, people say NWA is better than Wu-Tang, right? Or they'll pick them. And I'm not mad. You can have any opinion you want. But see, here's the thing with NWA for me. NWA made 2 albums, and they lost a member when making one of their albums. Then they broke up after the 2 albums, and you think about their tree, right? Because their tree is Dr. Dre, Ice Cube, MC Ren, Eazy-E. You have DJ Yella. Nobody talks about the Arabian Prince. He had Panic Zone, the one song, right? You had the DOC, right? And then from the trees, you get Snoop and all that. But NWA was the defining thing of a coast only. And we remember them not for things they did collectively. We think of them for things they did as a solo venture, right? Yeah, they were together, but then they broke up, and then there was no together. Because if you think about it, Not True Born Killers came out off of a soundtrack, I believe, and that was Dre and Cube reuniting. It never worked again, right? Nobody worked with Eazy-E ever again. I don't remember Ren having Dr. Dre production or Ice Cube features. I'm not sure. I don't remember it. But you had the one song they did with Snoop as a member of NWA, and then you had Dre and Ren on LA Niggas, right? or some LA shit, whatever it was on the Chronic. When you look at what Wu-Tang is, though, you have the group albums, and then you have their posse cut collectors on everybody solo. So the denseness or the density of their body of work is so pronounced that they have more work than the average group in hip hop. Outkast don't have that many. Mobb Deep don't have that many. And then if you look at the influence of what they had, they actually added known people from the industry to their collective to add in to make something great. Redman joined Wu-Tang as an honorary member. Nas is an honorary member who's the GOAT, the greatest of all time when it comes to overall, not only body of work, but influence on the culture. Shout out to Jay-Z, LL Cool J, and everybody else. You know, your opinion is yours, mine is mine. But not even with today's artists, because Griselda has a special spot with Raekwon. So I'm saying this is potentially one of the most influential movements there is. And as it goes on over the years, who knows what we can see? Who knows what Wu-Tang could become? Think about this. Raekwon just released a brand new album, The Emperor's New Clothes, right? And we have Griselda on there, but we also have Nas on there. You can, you go on talk about what Nas said about Jim Jones on this album if you want. Nas's feature is a highlight, but this is a very damn good album. So for all the years Wu-Tang has been out, and I first was introduced to Raekwon and the Chef's voice, like I said, in the 90s, early 90s, I believe, right? Yeah, early 90s. Raekwon's been in the game about 30 years. And for him to still release quality music on this run, let me tell y'all something. Wu-Tang is something very special, and we need to acknowledge it. Age does not define hip hop, because hip hop being a young man's sport is a dead thought. It's dead because our elder statesmen are still holding it down, and I don't even want to call them elder statesmen. I'm gonna just call them veterans. They're still holding it down, giving you quality music, quality lyrics, and a quality product. Shout out to the Clips. The Wu-Tang part of it means that there's a responsibility to the culture that's being upheld. And shout out to Nas and Mass Appeal for giving Raekwon a chance to put out his new album. And on August 8th, we're told that Ghostface was releasing Supreme Clientele 2, which at the time we heard was being produced by Kanye West and Mike Dean. We'll see. But Ghostface has always been the person to fly that flag and have Wu-Tang relevant in the culture when it comes to music, right? So the Wu-Tang story is one of triumph, no pun intended, for not only being enduring, but always giving the people something to look back at, look forward to. Wu-Tang having a final chamber tour bothers me because there has to be a reunion somewhere down the line. And these men are in their 50s. Who knows how much longer they have? And with my lifetime, with my friends, we're seeing our favorite groups and musicians pass away. It was good to see the RZA shout out Biggie, Tupac, Nipsey, DMX, Old Dirty Bastard, of course, and salute to his son for holding it down. It was good to see them salute the fallen members of hip hop. And it was good for Wu-Tang to highlight even its missteps. As much as I love Wu-Tang, there's one thing I hate about the Wu-Tang movement. Wu-Tang never had a female. And it was very male dominated. The one woman I heard in Wu-Tang that I loved was Blue Raspberry. And to see Blue Raspberry on stage sing her heart and soul into that microphone, Rainy Days, I forgot the Method Man, I don't want the Blood Clot. But when to see Blue Raspberry on stage and singing, that was one of the highlights for me. Because when somebody can really sing and someone can really bring the soul out of you when they have their voice projected on the microphone, is amazing. If you see this blue raspberry, thank you for always being true to yourself and letting your voice shine when others may have forgotten who you are. Because just like a phoenix, not only do you rise to the occasion, but good music lives forever and you will always bring life to those who hear your voice. So salute the blue raspberry. But what's next for Wu-Tang? We got albums coming out on Master Pill. We got Method Man doing movies. We have Wu Block maybe coming back out. But what's next for Wu-Tang? I will say this. The RZA has a new movie coming out, a spoonful of chocolate, I think. Nice joint, martial art joint, you know. Tackles racism in a small town. Wu-Tang has a video game coming out. We got albums coming out. As a fan, I know what I would like to see, you know, and I know what I like to see happen. I didn't see a lot of things happen at this tour that I wanted to see because I didn't go to every city, of course. But for what I got and what I was able to receive in Newark, New Jersey, I thank you, the RZA, Wu-Tang Clan, Run the Jewels. I thank all of y'all. But you know what? They didn't do some of my favorite songs, yo. What are your favorite Wu-Tang songs? List them in the comments. I would love to know, what are your favorite Wu-Tang Clan songs? One of my favorite songs is The Abduction from the Tony Touch Peacemaker album. That's one of my top 10, top 5 maybe Wu-Tang Clan songs as a collective. That one is amazing. You know what I'm saying? It was dope seeing all the people at the Wu-Tang show with the different Wu-Tang shirts and Wu-Tang. I mean, listen, go to my Instagram and check out my reel. I have a reel showing all the some of the people out there. It was Wu-Tang flags, it's capes. It was Wu-Tang shirts with the Canada maple leaf on it. I got socks, tattoos, all types of stuff I took pictures of. Because the one thing about hip hop, if hip hop is a culture, hitting different parts of the culture means you will endure. Rapping, they did that. Break dancing. We seen Method Man dance in Glitch's Ice video. When him and Shaheem, he was doing that in the ice cream video. So he had dance. You Can't Wu-Tang Better Than Me, another enduring thing, legacy. Then we have art, graffiti. We had the tattoos, the clothes, the comic books, the anime, the video games. Wu-Tang hit those levels too. Wu-Tang has hit so much when it comes to hip hop that if you don't think Wu-Tang is the greatest group of all time, I invite you to have this conversation with me and leave a comment below and let me know who is the greatest hip hop group of all time when it comes to legacies, living on, enduring, and being impactful around the world. Because I didn't even get to the UK yet. Shout out to the United Kingdom. We didn't even get there yet. But it was great to go to the Wu-Tang final tour. And all the people I know who went, please leave me some comments. Let me know how you enjoyed the show. What show did you go to? Where were you at? Where did you sit? What was your favorite part? Leave me some comments. I mean, I don't know how to make this grand and all that because it's just me by myself talking. But let me tell you something. I'm going to say this and just leave it just like this. Hip hop has been one of the most important things that ever happened to my life. And to me, because it taught me what school didn't teach me. It gave me understanding when my family didn't give me understanding and didn't talk to me and spend time with me. It gave me a lot. But the one thing it's giving me now is appreciation because as you know, I got a haircut. You see the gray hair. But as I mature in life, because I'm not getting older, I'm getting matured. As I mature in life and become an elder or veteran of life or whatever, experienced, I will say, when you're a young man, you don't appreciate the things you have until you see them fade off. And being that the word final was put into this tour, it made me need, this was my early birthday gift to myself. Not my birthday yet, but it was a need for me to be around my favorite group. Raekwon the Chef had a dispensary called Hastoria in downtown Newark, which unfortunately closed. But by going there, and if you've seen the pictures on my Instagram, you don't know my Instagram, follow me at Heritage Hip Hop. I was able to go take pictures of the chair and of the plaques, and I was able to even see Smith & Wesson perform live there on my YouTube channel. Subscribe. I was able to meet Raekwon, meet Ghostface. I met Inspector Deck. I even met other MCs there. Styles P I met Havoc. I met Charlemagne the God. I met Fat Joe. I met DJ Envy. Got pictures of him on there on my Instagram. Y'all can check it out. But most importantly, I got to touch ground with my favorite hip hop group of all time. So to Wu-Tang Clan, to hip hop, I salute you. And remember, Wu-Tang ain't nothing to fuck with. And Wu-Tang is here forever. Because as long as there's people who will share their music, not only talk about it, people who will live with that legacy and give it to their children, Wu-Tang could be forever, just like Led Zeppelin and Rolling Stones and all these other people, legacy groups that we have in other cultures. This is our culture. This is our Temptations. This is our New Edition. This is ours, and we need to protect it. So for everybody out there who loves Wu-Tang like I do, it's been a pleasure making this video with you. I wish I could talk with you, but unfortunately we don't have that right now. But thank you to Wu-Tang Clan and thank you to hip hop. And if you like this video, look down here. Subscribe to heritagehiphop.com. Hit the like button, comment, and share. Follow Heritage Hip Hop on all social media at Heritage Hip Hop. But I ask one more thing. In the comments, let me know. What's your favorite Wu-Tang song? What's your favorite Wu-Tang project? And most importantly, what do you wish you could get from Wu-Tang now that the final tour is going on? And Method Man has talked about retiring in 3 years. He wants to be a grandfather and just kick back. You got the Jizza teaching. Ray and Ghost are still active. I mean, anybody like You God or Respect the Deck, tell me what you like. Shout out to You God. He don't get enough respect. Bizarre is a dope song. People don't respect Master Killer because he came out probably too late as Wu-Tang faded off. He performed No Said Date. Hey, salute to him. Salute to Capadonna, who keeps moving from Death Squad to Wu-Tang to his solo albums. I mean, YDB, shout out to Second Generation Wu. Shout out to Killer Army, Sons of Man, anybody under that Wu-Tang banner. But when it comes to the Wu-Tang Clan, the 9-10 individuals, best hip hop group of all time, bar none. If you want to talk about it, I invite you to invite me to your platform or come on my platform and let's have that conversation. May the Most High bless all of y'all, and check out for more things coming soon. All right, y'all. Peace. Oh, before I go, I apologize. The Heritage Hip Hop Awards is happening August 30th. Look for nominations to come very soon as we're going to start going through this music and really getting things going. And we have we had fresh faces, but now we got something new because of all the nominations. So you'll see it. And people should feel good about it. But I'm out of here, yo. Most High bless y'all. Peace. And I'm out.
Real hip hop. Real hip hop. We here. Real